It's the final week of the BCFL regular season, and while most of the playoffs have been settled, there's still the matter of the Red Division Championship and the number one seed in the Western Conference to be decided, with the prize going to the winner of the game between the Cincinnati Dukes and the Southern Ohio Blaze. Both teams went 3 and out on their first possession, but on the first play of Southern Ohio's second possession, Devontae Johnson went around the right side and picked up 17 yards, getting down to the Dukes' 15-yard line. On 4th and 1, however, Nakia Wright was stuffed by Howard Tidwell and Patrick Lett, and the Dukes had held and took over on downs. The Dukes picked up one first down, but when Kamani Murray tried to hit Anthony Metcalf over the middle, James Brown was there to pick it off and give the Blaze back possession at the Dukes' 40-yard line. Seth Becker rolled out and found Jeremy Greer to get the Blaze inside the Dukes' 25-yard line. But on the next play, he could not connect with Devontae Johnson. Johnson was able to recover it, but he was surrounded, and the play resulted in a 19-yard loss and ultimately a turnover on downs. Southern Ohio got the ball back at the Dukes' 25 in the second quarter, but on 4th and 3, Ricky Sparks and Reggie Brown were there to corral Johnson for yet another turnover on downs. The Dukes rolled the dice on 4th and 3 from their own 28, and the gamble paid off when Murray hit Aubrey Harris for 11 yards and a first down. Murray dropped back and looked deep for Dante Jackson on next play. There was a flag for pass interference on the play, and after the first 25 minutes and 21 seconds were played entirely in Dukes territory, there would be a snap in Blaze territory. But like the Blaze, the Dukes were able to take advantage. On 3rd down, Murray was brought down by Ian Mumford in the backfield for a sack, and then on 4th down, it was Damar Miller and Edward Hampton ending the drive just inside the 2-minute warning. Then came the play that typified this game. Donald Duskin sacked Seth Becker, forcing a fumble. Dominic Raven picked it up with a clear path to the end zone, but Devontae Johnson tracked him down, punched the ball out, and fell on it to give the ball back to the Blaze. A golden opportunity for the Dukes goes by with no points scored. The Blaze were able to run out the remaining time, barely escaping the goal line, and at halftime the score remained Blaze 0, Dukes 0. The Dukes were able to keep some of their momentum going into the second half. Murray hit Brent Robinson with a short pass. He took it 20 yards into Blaze territory. After another first down, Damon Jackson pulled down Dante Jackson in the backfield for a 7-yard loss, and the Dukes ended up turning it over on downs. After the teams traded possessions, Devontae Johnson took a handoff, went around the right side and ran out of his shoe, but still picked up 29 yards down to the Dukes' 16-yard line. It looked like the Blaze would finally break through, and Ryan Mickens hit Damian Kogar, but as he was fighting for the end zone, Dante Jackson ripped the ball out, fell on it at the 1-yard line, and the 0-0 tie was still intact. The Dukes were unable to pick up any yards, but on 4th down, Murray not only managed to avoid a block and get the punt off, but the special teams was able to bring down the dangerous Johnson for no gain. On the opening play of the 4th quarter, Howard Tidwell pounced on a fumble. He pitched it back to Dante Jackson. He went around the edge. He picked up 30 yards to the 35-yard line of the Blaze. On the next play, the Dukes went for the big play. Murray rolled out. He went deep for Kovion Spikes, who hauled it in. He was out at the 2-yard line, but it was 1st and goal for the Dukes. On 1st down, Murray kept it himself, but he's brought down by Munford at the 1. After that came a penalty by the Dukes. On 2nd and goal, Murray scrambled, but he was eventually brought down by Munford for his 2nd sack of the game at the 15. On 3rd and goal, Murray looked for Jackson in the end zone, but the pass fell incomplete. And on 4th and goal, Murray went for the end zone once again. This time it was the other side, Dalvin Graves. He hauls it in. It's a catch. Finally a touchdown. The Dukes do not convert the 2-point conversion, but they still take 6-0 lead. On the kickoff, the Dukes gave the most dangerous player on the Blaze a chance to make a play, and Devontae Johnson does just that, weaving his way, making cuts at midfield, and finding his way 65 yards all the way down to the 10-yard line before Aubrey Harris finally pulls him down. This time it takes the Blaze just 2 plays, with Wright spinning his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Their 2-point conversion is no good, but after no points over the first 49 minutes and 4 seconds of the game, there have been 2 touchdowns in the last 1 minute 47 seconds. The score is tied 6-6. With under 7 minutes to play, the Dukes faced a 4th and 3. Murray found Robinson streaking down the middle. He broke a tackle and took it 34 yards all the way down to the Blaze 15-yard line. With the 1st and goal at the 9, Murray found Grace, but Tyreek Brooks was there for a game-saving tackle. After a penalty pushed the Dukes back, 3 straight incomplete passes gave the ball back to the Blaze at the 2-minute warning. On Southern Ohio's second play, C.J. Moore got a push up the middle. James Myers around the edge. They swallowed up Mickens in the end zone for a safety. With just over a minute remaining, the Dukes were ahead 8-6. The Dukes recovered the free kick that followed and were able to kneel out the remaining time, allowing them to celebrate not only the Western Conference's Red Division Championship, but the number 1 seed in the playoffs for the Western Conference. It was a defensive struggle with all the points being scored in the last 11 minutes of the game. Murray still managed to complete 14 of 27 passes for 143 yards and a touchdown for the Dukes, withstanding 5 sacks. The Blaze managed just 3 complete passes from 3 different quarterbacks. Johnson did carry 11 times for 81 yards for them, but was held out of the end zone. Howard Tidwell and E.J. Jr. led the Dukes defense with 5 tackles each, but it was C.J. Moore with 4 tackles, a sack, and most importantly, the game-winning safety. Damon Jackson led the Blaze defense with 9 tackles. 6 of those were for loss. He also forced a fumble. Sebastian Lewis also had 6 tackles and 3 pass breakups for the Blaze defense. The teams combined to go 0 for 16 on 3rd down, but while the Blaze were 0 for 3 on 4th down, the Dukes were 3 for 7. Taking a look at the other scores for the final week of the regular season, the Storm finished out with an impressive 28-2 win against the Columbus Gladiators. The Buccaneers got a shutout with a 31-0 win against the Ohio Rage. The Mustangs returned to the field, but it was the Spartans who finished off their undefeated regular season with a 52-6 win. The Red Rhinos officially picked up the final playoff spot in the East with a win against the Tanks, and the Huskies-Warriors game was ruled a no contest. Checking out the final standings, the Spartans pulled away in the Eastern Conference's Red Division as the Gladiators dropped their final 2 contests, with the Huskies coming in 3rd. The Storm took care of the Blue Division Championship with a 7-2 record, finishing ahead of the Warriors. The Rhinos moved up to 2-8 to take that last playoff spot ahead of the Mustangs. In the Western Conference, the Dukes pulled out the Red Division Championship with a record of 6-2, just ahead of the Blazes 6-4. The Rage finished 1-8, winning their opening game of the season. In the Blue Division, the Buccaneers won the championship with a 6-3 record ahead of the War Eagles at 4-5. That sets up the first round of the playoffs this weekend, with the Huskies traveling to the Warriors. The Rhinos, the number 6 seed, will play the number 3 seed Gladiators in the other Eastern Conference game. There will just be one game in the West, with the Rage the 5 seed traveling to play the War Eagles, the 4 seed, in Columbus. The Spartans, Storm, Dukes, Buccaneers, and Blaze all earn byes. And finally, taking a look at the playoff brackets, as mentioned, the Warriors and Huskies face off with the Spartans awaiting the winner of that game. The Storm await the winner of the Gladiators Rhinos with a potential rematch from this past weekend against the Gladiators looming. In the West, the Dukes' win gives them the top seed. They will await the winner of the War Eagles Rage game. Meanwhile, the loss sends the Blaze to the number 3 seed, meaning they will be on the road at the Buccaneers on August 14th.